You're listening to the Warlord Radio Podcast.
So you guys only take the audio from that?
Yep.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like I was telling him earlier, like getting camera ready is just too much. Like fingernails gotta be clean, head's gotta be shaved, clothes gotta be pressed. Like Craig is very well put together, but I'm a goddamn mess.
It's razor blade, that's it.
Damn straight.
So, well, welcome back. This is episode 34?
Fuck, really?
34, 35?
Damn, dude.
Anyway, we have our good buddy Logan here with us. Say hi, Logan.
Hey, how's it going?
Logan is a former Silvertonguedevil drummer.
It's true.
Former just like kind of lovable metalhead kid around our scene. And then
STD
so nice.
and Crucifix before that. Crucifix with a K.
And then you were also the one that turned me on to combat.
Mm-hmm.
And then lately, like Logan, so Logan dropped off the scene, but he didn't drop off the scene.
Yeah.
Logan went underground to work on his fucking opus.
Yeah, dude, I feel like I've been in a cave.
Right? Do you miss us?
I do, man. The weekend hangouts were so real.
Yeah.
But
The metal shows were so great, and I love seeing.
I mean, it's literally been like a year now.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
A year in August is when
Yeah.
you stepped away to go to school and work on your movie.
Yeah.
Which I was just about to get to. Logan has gone underground to work on a movie.
Yeah, his debut.
And as you know, here on Warlord Radio, we fucking love horror flicks.
Yep.
And so I, for one, was very psyched when you announced this in the first place, and then you had the original concept, and I realized it's like, oh, this is gonna be like kind of this weird occulty thing. Like, I got real fucking excited.
Yeah.
So, and the name of the project is Benedictus, correct?
Yeah, correct.
So, we can start there, or we don't have to start there. We can just say, hey, bro, we fucking love you and we miss you. Like, what have you been up to other than just making a movie?
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, so, I mean, I love you guys, too. So, thanks for the kind words.
There you go. Group jerk off real quick.
So, just real quick.
We're big on those here.
It's part of the charm of the show.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I did take some time off. Really just kind of stepped away to I hate when people are like I need to define myself, but it was like it was honestly like it was one of those things. Like I just went on this journey of like diving deep into filmmaking and just like I don't know, just working on my craft and just kind of trying to navigate that.
If anybody else said those words to me, I'd be like, this person is kind of a douche. But your eyes are so genuine.
I like how you're looking into his eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Intense eye contact.
Yeah. No, because if you say shit like that, like I need to know, like am I swinging left or am I swinging right?
So tell us this. I remember when you were in the band and you showed me this screenplay at the time for Benedictus.
Yeah.
And I read it and I loved it and you were like,
you actually got to read it? I haven't seen anything other than like the concept shit that you put on.
Yeah, he read like a really early copy of it.
Yeah.
It was probably like one of the first drafts that I have. Like since then I'm up to like draft 7 or 8. Like that's my shooting script was like draft 7.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So,
like,
I'd love to read the shooting script to gauge the difference. But I know that the movie kind of had a false start last fall. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So this essentially was like the film plagued by like shitty weather.
Oh no, we had, believe it or not, I worked construction at the time.
Yeah.
And we had one of the worst rain seasons that we've had in about 3 years last fall.
Yeah.
It was horrible. It rained for like 7 fucking months, man.
Yeah. So I had raised some money on Indiegogo. Mm-hmm. And essentially like I was like set up to go. Like it was like down to the wire. And it rained, and essentially I lost all of, if not most of, that money. that I had raised.
Well, and to give some context, like you had scouted location. You were going to be doing like an outside shoot.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you were like indoors.
See, I would imagine that's the problem with the cult films.
Yeah.
Is so much of it is shot outside.
Right.
Yeah.
In the woods.
You need creepy woods. You need weird ambience.
Dude. It was we had 3 days budgeted and scheduled, and 2 of those days were completely outside days. And so, it started raining, and day 1 we were like, okay, maybe we can push some stuff. Like, we have all the equipment rented. Like, I had...
that's non-refundable.
Yeah, non-refundable. It was in my possession. So.
That's more like, if you're lucky, everyone will show up tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So, it was just like, just dumping on us. And we were like, okay, let's keep our spirits high. Like, we're going to make this happen. And then day 2 rolls around, and it's just like 12 hours straight of just like non-stop pouring. And so then by then it was like locations were flooded and morale was just like
so even if it had stopped raining right then, the location was shot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it was just one of those things, like we had to call it. We had to cut our losses, and that really took like a big like chunk of my mental energy.
I would imagine.
Just like fuck this. I don't want to make this movie anymore.
I want everybody out there to imagine that they're a painter. All right, and they are inspired to paint their masterwork, and they have the palette full of paint, and everything looks absolutely gorgeous. And then like some dickhead just runs in the room and throws the palette against the wall and mixes all the colors up, and now you're fucked. That's basically what happened.
Yeah, dude, it was such the biggest kick in the nuts I could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
And so then like I honestly did not want to look at the movie. Like I didn't want to look at the script. I didn't want to talk about it. Like,
well, it's the same way when like you're recording an album and you've played like the last fucking 15 notes 75 times, and you're like, I don't give a shit about this song anymore. I'll like fucking do whatever.
Well, and also like you kind of said before, like with the Diesel Beast album, is you guys were recording for so long that after a while you just kind of get like cabin fever, and you're like, I am fucking sick of playing these parts and listening to this.
There are literal parts of Wyatt's solos that I can just hum note for note because I was in the fucking editing room. But I know. I think anybody that's done any creative endeavor kind of knows what that's like, to have like this clear, concise inspiration and then just have the universe just piss all over it.
But so then I took a couple months off from like working on it and just doing anything really related to filmmaking. And then...
What did you do in that 2 months?
Cry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No,
I would have hugged you.
It was like... I don't know. I was just kind of, trying to navigate like going to school and figuring that all out and stuff. And so just trying to do like grown-up things, like pay my bills and stuff. So...
Not always the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, no, I'm still trying to figure it out. I took some time off and just decided to return to the script one day and just really take a look at it and dive really deep into it and think about like the money I had just lost and like what could I do with either that same amount or even less.
Yeah.
So I just metaphorically took scissors to the script and just started cutting it up. So I was cutting characters, just really being budget minded and realistically thinking, how can I make this where I am essentially most of the crew?
Yeah, one man band type thing.
Yeah, essentially that. So I did that, and I made a lot of edits to the script. It went from a 21-page script to an 11-page script. And then then from there just kind of restarted. I completely recasted. So everyone that's in the movie now was not originally planned to be in the movie, with the exception of one character. There was one guy that we kept the same. Just made those changes and just got going on it. So
Well, I'm personally glad that it's going on again. Like I said, I was telling Logan right before we started, like, I have been watching this since... Okay, because there was like a 2-week span. Like, you quit Silvertonguedevil and you announced Benedictus. And I was like, well, fuck, if he's not doing that anymore, I'm going to watch, like, how this pans out. And so, like, I was kind of aware of all of that. But, I mean, that's a massive amount of self-compromise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But, I mean, that's admirable if you still want to try and get your vision across. And I believe, I don't know, because I didn't get to read the script. I have literally only seen, like, concept art.
Right. You've had, like, I think, am I right, a couple of little, like, teaser trailers, like you did the one for the Go-Go, which was
so
just, like,
one,
a couple of scenes, and then you have like a longer trailer up now that I think has some actual clips from the movie, right?
They were independently shot, so they're also not clips from the movie.
Yeah, I kind of love that though. There's a famous story, and it's happened a couple of times, but the example that I can think of off the top of my head is on the Coen brothers' first movie called Blood Simple.
Yes.
Which is a great movie. Is one of them, and I forget which, I think it was Ethan, but I could be wrong, was the editor of Evil Dead.
Yes.
And
I believe
so
right.
Evil Dead came up first, and so like Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell became friends with the Coen brothers. So then the Coen brothers are raising money for their movie, and they're like, hey, we're trying to raise money for our movie, but we need to go shoot a trailer. So they borrow Bruce and have Sam as the cameraman, and they shoot this little trailer to help raise money that they used in the, like when the movie came out, they used the trailer in the theater, but it has nothing to do with the actual movie that came out, which I think is great.
Every now and then it's so great when like a theatrical release gets this trailer that has nothing.
I wish that you'd see it in like a huge like Avengers type of movie where they show you these scenes. And
you're like, Wolverine's in this shit, fuck!
And then nothing, just nothing.
Nothing, no Wolverine at all. Hugh Jackman's recording Oklahoma 2.
Yeah, Deadpool comes up and chainsaws everybody.
I think that would piss a lot of people off.
Why not do that on purpose?
That's what I'm saying. No, anyway, sorry to get sidetracked.
No, that's it, man. You should just sink all your money into and making everyone think that John Leguizamo's in your movie and then just shoot your movie.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so it was like because I wanted people to know, because like Carrick said, there was a time where like nothing, like it just fell off, and so I wanted that to kind of be like, this is still happening, and look, there's actually people attached to it.
Right.
So yeah, that was honestly, it was independently shot, separately from the film. It's not that it doesn't relate to the film at all, because those masked creatures are still in the movie, and that girl is still our lead character. So it was just it was a teaser. That's all.
So we've talked about like how hard it was, and we talked about the fact that your concept art hooked me. Apparently, if you just like put a goat head on a motherfucker, I'm gonna watch that movie. Right? But can you give us a rundown of like, because I mean, I'm sure that if you had to cut 11 pages out of this script, the synopsis has changed a bit. So like, is there a rundown of the synopsis that you can give us, or is that something you like to play closer to the vest, or?
Yeah, no. So essentially, my log line is a stubborn.
That sounds like a poop thing.
Yep. Okay. Right. Essentially, a stubborn suburban girl goes out to the woods to party with her friends, and they encounter a deadly cult, and this encounter compromises the relationship between her and her religious father. So that is extremely vague.
That's not that vague. That's like the story of the American Girl to me.
But that's I would kind of like, what do they call them? Like an elevator pitch or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially what they are. You know, you get a summation. You know, it's fucking hard, man. Like, like if someone's like, summarize, the last 8 months' work in 2 paragraphs or 2 sentences, and it's
I can do it. I can do it. Ask me right now. And be like, what is Diesel Beast?
All right.
What is Diesel Beast?
Yeah.
It is Gandalf doing squat thrusts.
There you go. But see, that's great, and you've honed it down and you've thought about it. But it's murderous to like come up with that.
Yeah,
it is so hard.
It was very hard.
Redefine your entire art into like 3 sentences.
Because
bullet points.
there is a massive twist, like at the end of the film, and it's like, it was something where it was like, as my like debut short film, like, do I sacrifice that twist and like, do I put it in the logline? Do I put it in the trailers? Like, or like,
I'm play it straight.
The path that I took is like I'm gonna see how it pays off. Like I'm gonna see what happens. Like, because at the same, like I'm an unknown filmmaker, so like I honestly don't have anything to lose. So it's like I'm gonna play it safe.
That's a really good way to look at it, honestly. Like, because say your next movie, you also don't have much to lose, but people liked your first movie and they give you a little bit more money. It's like you could gain this entire reputation. It's like, that guy's a bit ballsy. Like, I enjoy that.
Was there a turning point where the initial incarnation had kind of crashed, and then you have your break where you're kind of reassessing, but was there a moment where you're like, all right, I'm picking up the script again, or, you know, whatever, or like thoughts start to occur? Or was it like a gradual thing where you're like, oh, you know, you had planned it out that you're like, you know, 2-3 months from now I'm gonna pick it up, or was it more random?
No, it was honestly like, it hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
Like one day it was like
inspiration,
just sitting there. And I was just like, I need to go to my computer right now, and I'm gonna work on this for 12 plus hours, like however long it's gonna take me.
It's
like,
weird how that hits you, you know what I mean? This is a really weird parallel to draw, and not very metal, and not very horror at all. But I was listening to a podcast.
Why are you saying that?
No, you're selling it. You're selling it.
This is gonna be kind of lame, guys. The woman that wrote Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
Who is like the richest human being in fucking Europe right now.
Right.
The entire first book came to her at a bus stop. She was standing at a bus stop, waiting on her bus, and like a fucking lightning bolt, it hit her brain, and she had the entire world of the first book fleshed out and the entire storyline of the book fleshed out. And now, she's one of the richest fucking people in Europe. So, I mean, what I'm saying is it's very weird how inspiration hits you.
Yeah.
Van Gogh cut his ear off, J.K. Rowling turned herself into a fucking multimedia mogul, and Twitter juggernaut, I guess.
A side note, just because I recently read something about Van Gogh, is he only sold one piece while he was alive, and it was to a friend.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That's true.
So he sold nothing.
He made all of his money on the back end.
He made no money.
Do you know how
the point is
there's
that
so many Renaissance artists that died.
Yeah.
And then like all of a sudden 30 years later, Renaissance art became like the hot topic, and then their shit got bought up and they were considered geniuses. Like, nobody ever told Van Gogh he was a genius. Everybody was like, Van Gogh, you need to go back to Renaissance McDonald's or whatever the fuck you're supposed to be doing.
Well,
These flowers suck.
He literally couldn't give his shit away. Nobody cared, and now like untold millions to get a sketch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The image of him with the fucking bandage around his head is iconic. Starry Night?
Yeah.
Like, fuck, dude. This could be your Starry Night. All you have to do is lose an appendage or some sort.
Cut your arm off. No, don't do that.
Don't, please don't.
I'll just stay
Warlord Radio does not advocate you dismembering yourself for your art.
But if you do, send us a clip.
And maybe
don't waste it. Don't waste the footage. But you know,
I'll take a finger.
Don't do it on our account. That's what we're saying.
Yeah. Do it for yourself.
Do it for yourself. Mangle yourself for yourself. Like Logan did.
So, lightning struck, and you decided you're just gonna work on it until you find a way to basically do it yourself, and then have like a tiny cast and crew. What was the shooting crew? Like, how big was it?
So shooting crew, it was myself. I was director and cinematographer, and then my girlfriend Madison Fox. She was our assistant director, and then we had a boom operator for sound, and then.
Have you ever done that?
Done boom?
Yeah.
Dude, it's like bench pressing for like hours.
It's fucking brutal, dude. Like, you stand there with like this 15-pound sound unit on yourself, and you have to hold this thing with your arms extended for fucking ever. And if you drop it down into the shot, cut, you gotta raise that bitch back up. No, I operated a boom. It is That's brutal work. Your boom operator.
Shout out to Dean Marshall.
Dean Marshall, you're a
Yeah.
fucking better man than I am.
Okay,
Yeah, so then we had
you and Madison and your boom operator.
Dean, yeah, and then we had PA, production assistant Mike. He just kind of, the errands and just small extra set of hands. And then we had our main cast, which was McKenna, Bailey, Javante, and then Chance. And that was everyone.
So where did you recruit these people from? Are these people you knew from school, or you put out like a feeler on the internet, or?
Yeah, so Dean was somebody that I met when I was working at Alamo Draft House.
Uh-huh.
He also was going to school for the same thing, and just was like really interested in sound, and so just recruited him for sound. McKenna, she's if you look at my Instagram, like 75 to 80% of the things that I shoot involves McKenna.
Right.
She's just like a really good friend. She does modeling and acting and stuff, and so I met her through another friend.
I'm assuming she's the lead role that you were talking about. Still from the original.
Oh no, it was actually Chance. Chance plays the role of the father. And he was from the previous. I found him through like the most grassroots. Like I hung up flyers like around.
No shit.
Yeah, I hung up like pull away tag flyers around Denton.
That's so old school.
Yeah.
I feel like so much of our audience has no idea what that feels like.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. Just like walking into places and just like, can I put a flyer on your window? They're like, what?
You've never put your hopes and dreams on a Kinko's hot plate. Just fucking
That's exactly where I printed it. It was FedEx, Kinko's, and Denton.
Nice.
And then Bailey and Javante, I met them through the photography community. My girlfriend is a photographer, so she's does like meetups and all kinds of stuff. So I actually met them through that.
Very cool.
Just kind of threw it together.
Right on.
So.
I guess, so you said you kind of went on a soul-searching journey to kind of come up with this in the first place. Because we stated earlier, I knew you from the local metal scene.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, Logan's making a movie. And I was like, what? But what... You say that you just kind of did a lot of soul searching, but was there something that specifically that inspired you to be like, I'm going to shift focus from this, which was going pretty well.
Yeah.
You did great in Silvertonguedevil.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a really good era of Silvertonguedevil, and then you just kind of went to the left and started doing this completely isolating and depressing thing that I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
Was there a lightning bolt moment for you? Were you standing at a bus stop and you were like, I know what Harry Potter is?
So I had started writing the script in 2017, and so that kind of gives a perspective of how long this has actually taken.
Yeah.
So I started writing it in 2017, and around that time, that was also when I decided I think I want to pursue filmmaking in some form. I didn't really know what that meant, and then I guess when did I join Silvertonguedevil? It was 2018? August? September?
No, 2017.
2017. Yeah, so I guess around the same time, and I was just I don't know, I was enjoying playing music a lot. I would never say that I didn't enjoy it.
Man, when I met you, you were a skinny little bright-eyed, long-haired fucking thrash drummer, and now you're you've changed, your eyes are so sad.
So I don't know, I was just at that point in my life, I was at a really crossroads type of it was around the time I had moved from Fort Worth to Denton.
Right.
Just completely left everyone that I knew in Fort Worth essentially, and just kind of changed my mindset and my path for whatever reason. I don't know, just to try it, I guess. I was playing with Silvertonguedevil, and it was awesome. I loved it. But
you fit with Silvertonguedevil really well.
You think so?
Yeah, I really do. Because you got to be able to deal with Alex and John. Right? And you dealt with Alex and John brilliantly. Because those are
so
two
funny.
very different personalities on those guys.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. But I think what was kind of like my deciding moment was playing out of town. It took me playing out of town to realize that I didn't really like going out of town to play.
That's fair. I mean, that's a legit decision that a musician has to make, because life on the road is not for fucking everybody.
Yeah, no, it was it was fun. It was awesome. There was a lot of times in the van where I was just like sitting there like I don't want to be in the van, and it's like, so that's when I kind of made the decision. Like I love these guys that I'm with. I everyone in Silvertonguedevil is like a brother.
Oh yeah.
And so it was like I just wanted to make the decision for me, but also for them. Like, I'm not saying I was a martyr or anything, but like
no,
they
if you said
deserve,
that, I would
like,
give you a wedgie right now.
No, I did it for their honor.
Yeah.
No, it was just like I know that like these guys have amazing potential, and just me voicing my opinion saying I don't want to go to Oklahoma, like that's just being a little brat. Like, they deserve somebody who's gonna be there,
No, I feel that. We went through a very similar thing with our first lead singer, Ghost.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, man, like, you gotta kind of be in love with the road.
Yeah.
You can't just like the road, and you can't just want to slap the road's ass a little bit. Like, you gotta be in love with the road. It's a special kind of weirdo.
I mean, it's so hard to do anything artistic, and especially like you add on, it's like no one's getting paid. You're doing it just strictly because you love it. And there's so many parts of it that at the moment aren't fun to do.
Yeah.
But you got to just be like, and I am positive that it's the same thing with filmmaking, where there'll be people that will tell you all day long and be like, oh dude, I'd love to be in your movie, I'll help out. But when it comes to standing and waiting for lighting for 2 hours, or hauling gear, or whatever it may be, is all of a sudden those numbers fade away. And even if you're great friends and stuff like that, they're going to be like, I don't want to be standing here holding this boom mic. You know what I mean?
To have like a ton of experience in filmmaking, but I've been on sets and shit like that before, and here's the deal that nobody fucking realizes. For every 2 minutes of fucking video that you've attained, there's like 9 hours of work behind that shit, dude. Like, it's insane. Like, the trade-off, because like, okay, if we're playing music, I can write a song in an afternoon, and we can work up that song, and we can kind of like over the next week or so kind of tweak it into shape.
Yeah.
But if you're putting story to video, you are taking into account lighting, you are taking into account setting, you are taking into account props, you are taking into account actors, you are taking into account just like literal how many takes have you done of this before your actors start to go fucking crazy. Like, there's so much involved. Like, for any, I guess, and it's kind of true for anything, for any like 20 minutes of generated content, you're looking at like damn near a fucking week of production time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's generous, actually. Dude, so he like tanked the stock of Tesla for that shit.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Joe Rogan cracks me up because in my mind, Joe Rogan is the dude from news radio.
Oh man.
You know what I mean?
Dude, to me, he's the guy from Fear Factor.
But he's also the dude that like spurred the Area 51 raid bullshit. Yeah. He's the guy that tanked the fucking stock of Tesla. Like, he does all of this other shit. It's very impressive. But he's also like your fucking sister's stoner boyfriend that just did too much DMT and is telling you how to open your fucking third eye, man. Right? I don't even remember what we were talking about, Logan. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's all right.
So where are you at in the process of the movie? Is it done? Or are you still editing? Or?
Yeah, so I'm still editing. I'm so deep in editing that if I were any deeper, I was going to try to come up with a joke, but I got nothing. But yeah, so
if you were any deeper, you'd be Artex in the bog of sadness.
There you go.
Yeah, so I am like, I'm just editing, and I honestly did not realize how big of an undertaking editing this thing was going to be.
Yes.
Because I got like like an hour and a half of footage, but it's like I have to cut that down to like 11 minutes.
Yeah.
And so
it's insane. And that's another thing that nobody realizes about production is that, that 2-hour blockbuster that everybody, that 90-minute blockbuster or whatever, they got the $70 million budget. There's like fucking 7 hours of fucking scrap footage. Dude. Easy. Mm-hmm. Easy.
And like audio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Like going through audio is the worst.
Because excuse me, we are smoking a normal legal cigarette. Because a door opening is not just a door opening, it's a door opening and wood creaking and a fucking wagon wheel falling down a hill.
So do you, for sound, I know that you had a boom operator, so you captured on-set sound.
Yeah.
And then do you also have like a sound engineer to help with like any Foley or like special sound effects, or is that all you, or are you using like a public database of sound effects for?
That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
that's the low budget way, man.
Yeah. Public domain. Just like royalty free.
Well, I know
the cool thing about that shit,
programs like Apple, they have like a library of like 30,000 sound effects to use for free.
And if you are creative enough, you can really create your own sounds using that archive for sure. It's very, man, like, fuck, why did you decide to make a movie? Like, there's so much easier shit to do.
Who are we to judge? It's like,
I know.
Dude, making like an album is like,
why do you guys work so hard and sell 4 albums? It's like, I know.
Yeah.
Because this is what gets me laid.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. It doesn't always work out that way. But I mean, I don't know.
What program are you using for editing?
Adobe Premiere.
Okay.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, I'm doing audio in Adobe Audition.
What's your battle plan for editing? Are you starting at the front and then just kind of like going as front to back, and then you're just kind of piecing it together, or also you can just try to assemble a rough cut together and you're like, all right, there's the movie, and now I'm going to whittle down the whole thing. It's like there's a million different ways to approach it. Like,
are we asking you a bunch of questions you're not even remotely prepared to answer?
No, I absolutely no. It's fine. I like these. Like, people don't ask these questions because like they don't know. So, I tried at first. I tried to do the whole like import all the footage into the file and then like just do it from there and like try and like sculpt it from the clay. But it's like that was so overwhelming for me, and so I just took it like it. I am like not an organized person at all, so I had to like really discipline myself to break down all of the footage into like this is this scene 1, take 1, like whatever, and so I had to do that, and then I'm just taking it scene by scene. I just doing like just assembling it really, like not doing transitions. I'm not doing color grading yet. I'm not doing any of that. Just literally taking the footage. Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like all that other stuff I can do that like no problem. Like transitions, whatever. I'll put a dissolve.
Can I give you and like you can tell me to fuck off because I've never made fucking movies. I'm just as a viewer, because I will watch a low-budget ass horror flick. I absolutely will. I watched Charisma Carpenter and the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. I watched that whole movie, and I don't think that's what you've got going on here. But I don't know, man. Like, if you go too nuts on the transitions, like it really takes away from the fucking story.
No. And I kind of limited myself. I can't do that many transitions because I shot the entire thing handheld.
Right.
So people don't realize that when you shoot handheld, like your body is the stabilizer, and so it's like if you put like a cross dissolve like on handheld footage, it's like it's not gonna line up.
No,
like,
it's gonna look like bad porno.
So so it's like I just, yeah. I mean, I'm
sorry.
I'm not gonna do the transitions. I'm not gonna do the transitions like.
Hey, your pizza's late.
Yeah.
Side grade. Like fucking.
Yeah. A star wipe.
Yeah. Get all Star Wars about it, where there's like side wipes and stuff like that. Was it a conscious choice to go handheld, like you wanted it to have kind of like a rougher look to it? As opposed to setting up a tripod and having like a classically composed shot and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was a conscious choice.
You can say we couldn't afford a tripod.
No, I definitely have a tripod. Right, cool. So, no, it was a conscious choice to go handheld. But I didn't want to, like, I wasn't going for like Blair Witch handheld.
Yeah,
so
it's not shaky cam.
Yeah.
And there's so many, like, especially when you get into the more low budget stuff, which again I will watch. Like, there's a lot of found footage shit.
Yeah,
because it's cheap to make and it's believable. You know what I mean? Like, it's immersive. But you kind of went more for an angle of like, I want more tension. Like, this is not a stable situation.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I wanted to create because a lot of the characters in the film are not trustworthy.
Okay.
To keep it vague. So I wanted to create that feeling of like we're looking at this guy almost as like we're in their conversation. Mm-hmm. And it's like we're paying attention to the words that they're saying, but also something could go wrong any second.
Right.
So, it was like a stylistic choice. I did shoot some things on the tripod and just ended up opting for handheld just because it felt boring, just standing there like watching the people like be on camera, and I wanted to be like in there with them. So
right, yeah, that's cool. So, tell us a little bit about the gear that you use, like the camera, lenses, that kind of stuff.
So I shot on a Canon SL2. Which isn't that far off from this camera right here.
Right.
You guys are speaking Hebrew to me right now. No, go for it.
So
casting the runes.
So yeah, it's a Canon SL2. It's just a
nice DSLR.
Yeah, you can buy it at Best Buy. It's like $500 camera, so nothing crazy. And then the lenses I used were a 18 to 55 millimeter Canon. 10 to 18 millimeter Canon, and then I have a Rokinon. It's a prime lens, 85 millimeter, for just some like really crispy close-ups. And then our sound equipment was the Zoom H4n handheld recorder, plugged in through XLR with a Rode NTG2 shotgun mic. So.
I had a Talkboy one time. Thing was fucking sick.
Right?
You can slow it down and speed it up. Fucking crazy. No, I assume every gearhead out there just fucking
Yeah, no, I mean
it's one of those things I always like to hear about. Like same thing with like musicians. Like I don't play guitar, but I always like to ask guitar players, what do you play?
Yeah,
because that's part of their sound. It's like
absolutely.
Like like some guys are like way into sculpting their sound with like a bunch of pedals.
Oh no, I'm making light for I'm making light for entertainment's sake, but I mean like what your equipment absolutely informs their fucking product.
Yeah. And it was like I didn't use like I wasn't using crazy equipment. It was all attainable by like the common person, So it's like it was almost like a test to myself of like
more about showing what can I do.
Yeah,
with
what
this?
can I do with the stuff that I already have, or that's like really inexpensive to rent.
I'll give you a little bit of an analogy. Like you buy a Fender Stratocaster for $112 off a pawn shop wall. You can play any style of music with that Fender Stratocaster. It's really all about what you do with that equipment.
Yeah, absolutely. And it took a long time for me to be comfortable doing that. Mm-hmm. The first go around, like last fall when we were trying to shoot it the first time, I had actually recruited a cinematographer, and he was like a part of the crew, but he's one of those people you have to pay. So
yeah.
That happens from time to time.
So,
it really does. Diesel Beast used to have this sick ass light set up, but we had to pay those guys, and we couldn't always pay those guys.
Right.
So the second time around, it was like that time between when we were gonna shoot it and everything just like shit hit the fan. Like that time, I also spent just like learning how to shoot and really like learning how to use my camera and learning how to frame a shot and learning about composition and studying all of that stuff. So then when it came around to it, I was comfortable doing it.
Right.
And also directing, which...
But you essentially threw yourself into a trial by fire completely.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was one of those things, like I had no idea what to expect going into it.
Right.
But I knew that there wasn't going to be a better way to learn than by just doing it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, like, there may be some skeptics out there that are gonna be like, oh, he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, like he's just jumping in this half-cock. But I'm telling you, like, this is when an artist kind of shines a little bit. This is when you really prove your merit as an artist, because you're like, I am doing something completely out of my fucking wheelhouse. I am learning as I go. I am trying to present a clear and concise vision as to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And in the end, I'm going to come up with something, and I don't know exactly what it is, but I mean, like, there's this whole path you took to get there.
Yeah.
And that's how you get dudes like fucking Sam Raimi putting out Evil Dead. It's like, none of that shit. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing at all. He almost killed his brother in a paper mache costume. That movie's so fucking classic.
Yeah.
There are things that you have to do like guerrilla style. You know what I mean? Like, you're in the fucking weeds. You have to figure your way out of the fucking weeds. And so you're gonna like pull off some like fancy footwork, and that could be something iconic in 20 years. Like, you don't even know.
Hopefully.
How long did y'all shoot for?
We had 2 days of shooting, but it wasn't 2 full days. So it was like the first day we started around like 3, and then we shot until probably like 7.
How many days were you supposed to shoot again?
The first time we were supposed to shoot for 3 days, but then after I made those cuts to the script, I was kind of able to do less shooting days just for like scheduling sake, because like full transparency, nobody on the shoot was getting paid.
Right.
And so it was like everybody was volunteering their time, so it was like for scheduling sake.
This is the indiest of indie films.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were just like let's shoot it in a weekend, so it was just like a Friday, Saturday kind of thing. So
very cool. Yeah. Well, was there a so 2-part question? Was there a particular high point while you were shooting it where it just kind of felt like it was coming together, and or was there a low point where it's like, fuck, this is not working?
Right.
Absolutely. To both.
That's a great answer.
So I would like to say that the high point and the low point were back to back.
Yeah.
So
which came first?
The low point.
Ah.
So
funny how that happens.
Yeah. It was day 2 of shooting. So day 1 we lost our location because we didn't have permission to be there.
Yeah, because it costs money to get permits.
Yeah, so, and I just didn't have time.
Permits is you show up and somebody watches out for the cops.
Make sure you get in and get the fuck out as quick as you can.
Well, so we were shooting at a private location, and park rangers would have liked to have known that we were there beforehand, but they didn't know that, and so we were like in the woods like shooting, and we walked out and there were park rangers just like swarming our cars, just like trying to figure out like what are these cars doing here. And so then like we got out of it, but that eliminated that location for day 2. Mm-hmm. So day 2 day 2 was supposed to be a like mostly night shoot, so we spent like the whole day that Saturday, like during the day, just like scouting, like going all around town. So we found our location and everything, and we had also not been able to get our special effects person to come out on day 2. So they were there for day 1 and like totally killed it. And then day 2 like rolled around and we were like, oh yeah, we can do it ourselves. And then like it got down to it and we could not do it ourselves.
That's such honesty.
It took so long for us to figure out like how we were gonna do this, and we were just like, we were losing light, and it was just like getting really down to the wire, and I was just like, just so close to just calling the day and just being like, fuck it, we're leaving, we'll do this another time or whatever. And it really took like this amazing pep talk from Madison, because I just completely had shut down at that point. Like creatively I was drained, like I didn't know like my right from my left, just because I was so just like disoriented. And so I didn't know how to approach the situation, and I didn't want to be like, hey guys, to be completely honest, I don't know what I'm doing here. But I think like me shutting down, like the morale was just out the window, like nobody was feeling it. And then Madison came in and like swooped in and was just like we were all, it was like a movie moment. Like she just like, we were all in a circle and she was like talking to everyone, like looking everybody in the eye and just like what are we here for? Like your character, like here's your motivation, like all that, just like completely took the reins. And so after she did that, we got like some of the best takes that I like of the entire weekend.
It's like anything else you're doing. I'm talking like anything you're doing, sports, work, whatever. You like psych up your fucking crew, like get everybody excited about it, man. You'll get the better, like the synapses are firing properly.
Yeah,
that's really awesome that you had that moment. Not everybody has that moment. I'm positive movies have fallen flat because they didn't have that moment.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm incredibly grateful, to say the least, that she was there to just kind of reel it back in, because I was really asking a lot of everyone there. It was long days. It was so hot outside, and it was honestly the role that McKenna was playing was just like so emotional and just like she
brutal.
Yeah, extremely brutal, and she just like gave 1,000%, and so it was awesome to be able to share that moment.
I will say this, man, like we've all met a lot of performers in our lives, like stand-up comedians and all. Like actors are like a little different, like in just how much shit they're willing to fucking take. You know what I mean? Like you do half of what you do to an actor to a musician, and he's gonna rip the back door off your club.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, I don't know. They're made from like they're tough stock actors. So yeah, man. I'm glad that happened for you.
How did you all light for shooting at night?
That's a very good question.
Oh my gosh,
I had these talk boys, right?
I asked these questions because I've encountered all of these problems shooting videos for the band, so I've been there.
So most of our stuff was shot with enough daylight to kind of to where like in post-production I can kind of like, you know, like give the illusion of like it's starting to become night and stuff. Well,
kind of like day for night a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But day 2 was like, after everything that had happened, we had just like, we had lost daylight. And so we took out our cell phones, and our PA, Mike, he was holding like 5 cell phones.
Yeah.
With their flashlights on.
Dude, shout out to Mike. That's G as fuck.
Oh my gosh,
that's a great story.
It was amazing, but like, I'm kind of ashamed to admit that. Like, so we were like off of some nature trails, like in Denton.
Yeah.
And it was like a public park where we were at, and Mike has like a generator like in his truck. Well, so like,
man, you always gotta know a dude who has a truck and a generator.
Yeah, dude,
maybe a winch.
Keep him around.
Yeah. So what we had planned on doing was driving his truck like on the grass, just straight up trespass, And
yeah, that's illegal as fuck in that city.
Yeah, absolutely. So just driving it straight up to like the edge of the woods, and then we had a 100-foot extension cord, and so what we were gonna do is just like, he was gonna bushwhack his way from the location to his truck to plug in the extension cord into his truck, and then we were gonna have lights. Like,
so you just have this like Crocodile Dundee motherfucker out there just like, I'll like these.
Yeah, dude, he's like wearing slacks and like, dude, this guy was wearing a long sleeve shirt like in June or whatever, and like, so we were just gonna like just do that, but then like he parks his truck up there and he's like, dude, there's no way to get to it. He's like, it's too far, you have to like wind around like some stuff, and like he was like, it's not gonna happen. So I was like freaking out, and then he goes, what about cell phones? And we were like, dude, come on, that's insane. But then like everybody gets out their cell phone, and he's got like these massive hands, and he's just like manhandling like 5 cell phones, like 3 in one hand, 2 in the other, and just holding it above what we're shooting. And dude, I was watching the footage the other day, and like it's not the best. It's not gonna be like a Tarantino lighting system.
Insane.
Just but dude, it's lit enough. Like,
yeah.
And it was so awesome. Like,
I consider myself
DIY, man.
Yeah, extremely DIY.
I consider myself a fairly masculine man. I don't know that I have like bushwhacked through the fucking highweeds to like carve out a set for somebody, and then held 14 cell phones like fucking Rafiki and the Lion King, dude. That's insane. Like, shout out to Mike.
Yeah, dude. He was a godsend. He also drank a lot of beer on set on day 1, and so so that was
That's
fun.
why I'm not in your movie. I assume. You know, I've been acting for years. You've never asked me once to be in your movie. I assumed it was because of the beer drinking.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's a good spot to take a break. I don't know where we're at in the episode, but that's all right. We can take a break. So we're gonna play in the middle. We're gonna play the audio trailer that you sent us.
Yes.
And then we're gonna come back for round 2. We'll talk about some more shit.
And we're gonna talk about your movie more, but we're also just gonna bullshit.
Let's bullshit, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
You wanna grab dinner?
Dad, could you actually just take me to next? We're gonna do this little hangout thing.
Chris got some beers and started talking about a rager in the woods.
All the willing babes you can ever dream of.
I'm really glad you came, Pete. It means the world to me.
Chris, who told you about this thing anyway? Are we almost there?
Should be here somewhere. Let's see if we can hear anything.
I don't hear shit.
Have you guys heard about the ghosts in these woods?
Ah, Chris! What the fuck? Make me get the fuck out of here! Why do you people think you're doing something good here? You're all a bunch of sick fucking cowards!
I just want you to know how much I care.
This is Logan Mulligan, and while you're listening to the Warlord Radio podcast, be sure to check out my short film, Benedictus.
Metal.
Sick.
Oh, shitty.
So yeah, I did this whole thing about how Craig came out with us with big beers, and it was, I don't know.
Anyway, that's
all
a killer
ruined
intro.
now. Yeah.
It's all fucked now. So.
Carrick, something tells me that was not the first time you've done that on this podcast.
Dude, we are so bad. We're so good at content. It's so bad at intros and outros. Like, and like, it's to the point where we just kind of worked it into the show as a bit that we just suck at intros.
That was not the first transition that I've heard where it's been like, so Carrick did this thing, but we didn't record it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's how we work in the shadows.
Because we're professional.
No, but so I assume that even though you're deeply into your art, as a man, as a soul, as an entity, you're still
as a mage.
Big ass as a mage. You are still a big ass metalhead, correct?
Absolutely.
So who are you listening to?
Yeah, what are you jamming?
Oh man, I actually prepared for this question.
Oh, did homework. Right?
Yeah. So, I mean, the new Gate Creeper single just came out.
Yes.
So, for their new album, I liked it, you know. It's Sounds just like Gay Creeper. Pretty stoked on that.
That's true though. It does.
Yeah, I was.
But I like Gay Creeper, so it works.
Yeah, there's this band from, I believe they're from Philly. They're called Outer Heaven.
Don't know.
So they're like another like Gay Creeper style death metal band.
You know who we should ask is Bill about those guys, because he's the one that runs that Philly rock radio.
Yeah, that's right.
I think we're on their network. I don't know.
We are, yeah. Well, because Diesel Beast did an interview with them, and then I did an interview for STD out of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And then I also mentioned that we did the podcast, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'll cross promote you guys."
Well,
So,
hey man, shout out to Bill.
Shout out to Bill. Yeah, so Outer Heaven, just
That's a
super
great name.
like caveman style riffing and just
I
like
dig that.
D-beat drums. So
You know, it's funny that you said that, because you know who it's weird who I've been jamming lately, but all of a sudden, you know Joe Shillage from Lament Configuration?
Skalagi.
I'm sorry, Joe Skalagi from Lament Configuration has got me into fucking Wormhole.
Wormhole? I don't know them.
Yeah,
Wormhole, dude, it's just like, it's a really good mix of like, because you know anybody in Lament Configuration is going to throw tech death at you at some point, but it's like really good caveman riffs, and then the breakdowns are like really good tech death and like really good technical riffs and shit, and then it goes like just straight back into these like evil huge fucking riffs. Yeah, it's good shit.
Oh yeah. There's this. So I went to this hardcore festival the other day. It was a couple months ago. Caught this band Purgatory.
I've heard Purgatory, yeah,
dude,
man.
Punishing. It's like straight mosh riffs, like you'll want to punch somebody in the face.
Nice.
So I've been jamming a lot of Purgatory. And then, you know, I just stick to what I know. Just the Obituaries, the Malevolent Creations, the Solstice, the Morbid Angel. So.
What do you think of the new Morbid Angel?
I don't listen to it, no.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just.
Didn't you didn't rail against it, but you weren't big on it. I didn't even listen to it.
So there's I haven't talked about the newest one, which I like. Not maybe at the classic status of my favorites, but it's a good album.
Yeah.
And then the one before is the one that kind of went off the rails, where it's like half techno.
Yeah, that was
half
the one.
Morbid
Yeah.
Angel.
No,
Totally
not
put me
that
off
one.
that album.
Not that one. Yeah.
Where it was
Ill
just
It
like
was that exact description that I was like, I'm not really into that
it's
shit.
like, is this still Morbid?
Yeah.
What am
No,
I- what
not
am I
that. It was
listening
the latest Steve Tucker Morbid Angel album.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, I haven't given it a fair chance, but I don't really intend to.
It's good. I tell you which I liked a lot better, which I think is a slamming album. It's The Last Deicide. It's fucking
I haven't
tight.
heard The Last
Another one I
Deicide.
haven't listened to, but yeah,
Dude.
a lot of people have been telling
I've
me.
been on a
It's
weird
fucking tight.
I've heard
deep
both.
dive into like trying to find metal bands that don't have harsh vocals lately, which has been weird. Just to kind of, because I'm trying to get Ziggy accustomed to singing metal.
Yeah, of course.
Shit, because our new singer, have you seen this with him yet?
And I'm
No,
with you. I
I
go through
don't.
phases because
Yeah.
I love singing.
Me too.
And I'll go through phases where it's like, I'm like, nah, I don't want to hear like harsh vocals. Like I want to hear melodies. I want to hear
and
somebody
shit,
that
yeah.
can sing.
And the thing about Ziggy is Ziggy's really good, but I mean, dude's favorite band is fucking Coheed and Cambria. And I'm not saying that Coheed and Cambria is some horrible band.
I don't know. I don't fucking like Coheed
They're,
and
you know
Cambria.
what? I don't like them either, but they're good musicians. I'll give them that. But I'm trying to like.
Fine.
Yeah, well,
Be reasonable.
Ziggy came at me one day all pissed off. He was like, we're just pigeonholing ourselves into this fucking style of metal. And I was like, you don't understand, young Padawan. There's 40 years of fucking shit you haven't even heard yet. And so, but I've been trying to get him into shit like, so I've been going back to like old Blind Guardian. I've been doing, you don't like Blind Guardian?
I can't do Blind Guardian.
Why the fuck not,
I
man?
can't do it, dude. I can't do it.
New Sabaton is really good.
The
too.
Sabaton is very good, but I've always liked Sabaton.
Well, yeah, indeed. But I'm just saying their last album, The Great War, is really tight.
It really, really is.
And I also really, they're not newer to me, power metal band that I've really been digging is Powerwolf.
Oh yeah, Powerwolf's fucking good. I've been listening to Powerwolf for a couple of years now, man.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if you guys know this, the lead singer of this band recently committed suicide, so like
Linkin Park?
R.I.P. And if you, Man, okay, you're about to make me say something real fucked up about Linkin Park. I almost said it, and I'm not gonna do it because my sense of humor is as such.
Right.
But no, Teneger Cavalry. The
Mongol band.
Kind of like a Mongol folk band. So they used like a lot of traditional Mongol folk, and it was badass.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of, like throat singing and shit.
Yeah,
But
I was sad about that dude.
it was sad about that dude. Not so much sad about Linkin Park. Fuck you, Logan. I couldn't stop myself. God damn it.
You ruined the moment.
Sorry.
You did. My fucking bad sense of humor got ahead of my good taste. But I mean, I don't know. We are in a weird metal renaissance right now, I guess, where local scenes are popping off everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're hearing about bands from, like, Scranton. And they kick ass, you know what I mean? It's just shit like that. Also, like, the DFW metal scene. We have been busy as fuck this summer. It's been crazy. The shows have been nuts. Mm-hmm. To the point where, like, we can't go to each other's shows because we're playing that night.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's very strange. And, I mean, you get those, the more mainstream... I say mainstream, but you know what I mean. Like, if you have T-shirts that are on the internet,
yeah.
I don't know. You're doing all right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like metalcore is dying with a big spear in its chest, and I love that. I'm sorry, metalcore kids.
All right.
Dude, let's be honest. Metalcore died in 2004.
Right.
Dude, I know.
No good metalcore came after 2004.
And I'm not dogging on the metalcore kids. They love what they love, and I'm not dogging. But I'm just like, man, the bass lines suck. They're so whack, dude. They're just like fucking lame. Yeah. Anyway, change the subject, please. I'm just gonna sit here and bag on metalcore kids for a minute.
We were talking about this a little bit, but what have you been watching lately?
I cannot say any more good things about Midsommar.
Yes, I want to see that. I haven't
seen it yet.
I'm dying to.
And it surprises me that you haven't seen it.
It's
I was surprised too.
Yeah, only just because it's been a crazy summer for me.
You know what's really Anyway.
Yeah.
It is playing at that $3 cinema in Denton, dude. We should just
go see it for $3.
We should smoke legal cigarettes and drink non-alcoholic beers in the parking lot, and then go see.
Or we could be men and catch a buzz. And go into the show.
Let's get fucked up and go see Midsommar and then do a podcast.
No, I'm totally down for that,
dude. So
I'm very excited.
Ari Aster is like probably my biggest inspiration as far as filmmakers go.
Well, he's killing it right now.
Yeah.
And for those of those, like, 2 movies come out that are both like super independent, super successful for being independent.
Yeah.
And
for the layman, what are those movies? Because I'm
Hereditary and Midsommar.
Yeah.
He's like, I love that, like, because Midsommar got a huge release,
right?
Like super mainstream, like it was going against like Toy Story 4 and stuff like that. So like Midsommar got a huge release.
The trailer was great though.
Dude, the trailer does not even scratch the surface.
Yeah, which is great. You know what the trailer did was it reminded me of like the original Wicker Man.
Yeah.
And so it immediately piqued my interest.
Yeah.
So and Ari Aster, he's like extremely experimental. Like as a filmmaker, this dude's bringing in like avant-garde. Like
I'm gonna say he tried a thing or two with a telephone pole.
Right.
Shit.
No, I'm sorry. That was, dude. Like, okay, I thought Hereditary was all right. No, I did. And one of the cool things I thought about Hereditary is like, it is known on this show that I dabble in the occult a bit, and I know some people that like really dabble in the occult, and there are some very deep occult references in that movie, like shit that the layman wouldn't know.
Right.
Which I think
even
is
in
really
Midsommar,
cool.
Midsommar has like stuff like that.
I would expect that out of Midsommar. If I didn't see that in Midsommar, I think I'd be pissed off.
Yeah. So.
But okay, spoiler alert though about Hereditary. If you don't know this shit yet,
I mean, it's been a year.
That sweet goddamn little girl just gets fucking Highlandered by a goddamn telephone pole.
Yeah.
But it's not even that scene. That scene's not brutal. It's the cutback scene.
To her head with her ants. Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Like I said, that movie was okay. But that scene just like burned itself into my brain. I will never forget that shit as long as I live.
I loved Hereditary. Like, honestly, it was probably one of my favorite films that come out in the last 5 years.
It was. I'm not sitting here talking shit about Hereditary.
You just didn't give me a good enough response.
Oh, yeah, okay,
so
fair enough.
I have to.
And it's Toni Collette.
Yeah, Toni Collette. Yeah.
Fantastic actress in everything I've ever seen her in. Honestly, dude.
Yeah. No, she was phenomenal. And then the kid. He's probably my age.
The lead.
Yeah.
Fucking little.
I don't know.
He was in.
Motherfucker.
He was in My Friend Dahmer and.
Okay.
I didn't see My Friend Dahmer, the Ted Bundy movie. Okay, because
oh my gosh, can we talk shit about the Ted Bundy movie?
No, we absolutely can,
dude.
Because I love me some good true crime. Absolutely.
Have you guys seen the newer Ted Bundy movie that's on?
The Netflix one. Yeah, that's what.
Extremely Wicked. And
that's what the Zac Efron.
That's exactly what we want to talk shit about so much.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it because it's true crime. If it was fake crime, like Leatherface or some shit like that, then glorify the killer all you want. But I fucking hate it when they paint the killer out to be like this sympathetic fucking dude. No. Ted Bundy was a goddamn monster, man. Fuck that guy.
The reason why they did that, though, for that movie was that it was in the perspective of his fiancée, who was extremely oblivious.
I get that, and that
completely
whole
oblivious. But
angle of the story is so weird.
I turned it off after 20 minutes, so maybe my opinion does not even matter in this conversation. But it was not the Ted Bundy movie that I wanted to see.
First off, if you're gonna call it like whatever, like fist fucking skulls in hell or whatever the fuck it was called.
Shockingly wicked, extremely vile or something like that.
So why didn't I get any of that?
Yeah.
Why did I get fucking...
Because it was told in the wrong perspective. If we got a movie that was like Maniac, where it was like in the perspective of like Ted Bundy, then like maybe it would have been a hell of a lot better.
It should have given us the perspective of the fucking Florida State University campus. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so I think the name is extremely misleading, but it's like that was what the judge said.
I will say this, because I had this similar problem with when I just watched the Bundy Tapes documentary.
Even I was bored by that too.
No, but it wasn't even that it was boring. It was like, this fucking douchebag will not admit to what he did, and he is such a goddamn monster.
He chose to represent himself in court,
right? Yeah.
I want to talk about a controversial topic here. This is what it.
Hey, this is not that kind of show.
No, so like, hands up, you're a true crime fan at this. Yeah, that's what I thought. That would be all three of us for those out there in audio land. Like, it's kind of fucked up to have one, but we all have a favorite serial killer.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I'm gonna go around the table, and I want a very small synopsis on your favorite serial killer and why. So we're gonna start with Craig, because Craig has mucho balls and doesn't give a fuck about what people think about him at all.
That's a tough question. I'm not lying.
Maybe not favorite, most intriguing. There's one that...
Sure.
Right, yeah.
We understand.
I'm not shying away from that. I'm just trying to think that, if I'm being honest, I don't know if there's one that stands out.
That's so scary.
There's a few that I could bring up that are H.H. Holmes.
H.H. Holmes was the Riddler.
Let's just stop there.
I'm going to build a house of horrors. And then he would twirl his curly mustache.
I wish you should try and sneak that into every conversation. H.H. Holmes was the Riddler.
Was the Riddler.
No explanation.
Riddle me this. What kills faster than arsenic?
Best Batman movie ever.
Oh my God, Batman versus H.H. Holmes. Somebody should make that.
Last year I read the book Devil in the White City, and it is fucking fantastic.
Who's that on?
It's a non-fiction book about H.H. Holmes and the World's Fair that took place in Chicago.
See, and what was so weird about H.H. Holmes is he first off, he had the startup capital to become a fucking supervillain, which not everybody does, but he was in this weird period of time where Chicago, correct?
Yeah.
Chicago was like this hugely transient city
because of the World's Fair.
Exactly.
Yeah, much like it is today.
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, it's just like people passed through and didn't come out of Chicago all the fucking time, and he knew that. He was like, riddle me this. Like, fucking just, again, twirling his curly Q mustache like a fucking psycho.
So definitely H.H. Holmes, I put at the top of the list as far as like legit. Interesting.
Yeah.
Another one that's probably pretty obvious is The Iceman.
Okay, we were gonna get to this, but I'll go ahead and jump in. Richard Kuklinski is my quote-unquote favorite serial killer, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's a weird thing. Because when you delve deep into true crime, you notice a lot of trends, most notably like violence against women.
Mm-hmm.
These people are picking off easy targets. They're quote unquote easy targets, because I know several women that would fucking break a motherfucker's nose.
Yeah.
But they are picking off people that are either transient or I don't know, they're really weak targets. And Richard Kuklinski,
I think that was the key for most of them, is that they're picking on targets that they know that they can't take out, which is building up from the torturing, killing animals that they know that they can kill, to then finding human targets that they know that they can overcome.
Little Richie got bored with real quick.
I know, right?
But no, my thing about Richard Kuklinski is that, like, okay, so you say that, like, Ted Bundy or Ed Kemper or, okay, let's not even throw Ed Kemper in, because he's just gross.
Albert Fish.
No, again, just way gross. Like, Albert Fish just went through the deepest goth period in the wrong era ever.
And what is it? They found him with like thousands of like needles stuck in his scrotum.
Dude, if there were kink websites when Albert Fish was around, he'd be fine. I'm just saying. No, but like the thing about Richard Kuklinski, okay, so like you compare him to a Dahmer or a Gacy or, you know, the heavy hitters, those guys, to use the term from last podcast on the left.
Dude, I was just about to say that. Heavy hitters.
Richard Kuklinski could be considered, in my eyes, and this is so fucked up, but an apex predator.
Right.
Like, you guys might all be velociraptors. This motherfucker's a Tyrannosaurus.
Sure.
Because, like, he's just... These guys that he went after were usually armed, usually guarded, usually, like, he managed to spin his serial killing into a career.
Yeah.
Which is impressive.
Well, I mean, he was a hitman for the mob.
Yeah, but
then he spun off into just being like, I like killing people.
He kind of started off being like, I just like killing people, though, and then he was like, I can make money at this, and then after a while he's like, no, I just like killing.
It's honest work.
It is honest work. Get it?
What about you, Logan?
Yeah, so I think like the serial killer that kind of spawned my interest in the topic was Richard Ramirez.
Yeah, there you go.
Richard Ramirez bothers me because, like, we're all metalheads here.
Yeah.
And Richard Ramirez is just that dude sitting on your cool in your garage that just gets up and leaves one night. You read about it in the paper like 3 weeks later.
Right.
Yeah, so...
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Just, the fact that, like, how uncalculated he was.
Yeah.
It's
he's
just
a complete
like...
savage.
Yeah. And then another person that just intrigues the shit out of me is the Zodiac.
Yeah.
Just the fact that it's gone cold. Like, I'm sure that so many other people are
it's kind of like one of those things like Jack the Ripper, where part of the fascination is that it's not solved.
Yeah. And it's really hard to, like, because human beings, I think, especially on narratives as horrible as those, really want to tie like a neat little bow on it.
Yeah.
And man, it is just so unsettling when you can't.
Right.
Yeah. And like,
just you even heard there's like a theory that the Zodiac killer and BTK were like the same dude. or some shit. I don't buy into it. But
they were two completely different types of killers.
For BTK, they know who it was.
That was
the dude from Kansas.
Yeah, he was like a Cub Scout leader and a church
dude.
leader.
He had this thing though that he would say, where if he said that to me, I would either start laughing in his face or just immediately start swinging on the guy. But apparently he had like this catchphrase where he was like, "My name is so and so. I have a sexual problem," and I was like, "I'm gonna rip your cock off for you." I don't know. I feel like you don't get to talk shit to me before you serial kill me. You need to get me out of the game as fast as possible.
And then I don't know. Like Craig said, this question is extremely hard to answer. But I just recently finished the last podcast series on Israel Keys.
Oh my god, that fucking guy.
From the modern day serial killer. Yeah.
Like he truly found a way to still be a serial killer with in today's
2012. So that was extremely interesting.
Because we're gonna get flack for this. What it means to be a serial killer has absolutely changed, and I actually believe that the rise in mass killers are because people don't feel like they can effectively be serial killers.
I would entirely agree with that.
We are trading into just dark ass waters on this episode.
People who are so mentally plagued, like Dylan Roof.
Yeah.
Some of his
fucking the kid from Children of God. What was that guy's name? Johnny with the knives. Again, to quote last podcast on the Left Again, because apparently that's all I listen to. No, there was a kid. I think it was the Children of God, or I don't know. It was one of those weird cults where they're like, "Hey, let's fuck the children." And so this guy, he gets out of the cult, goes out into normal society, realizes just how fucked up that is, and then decides he's going back into the cult to get his.
Right.
And there are some manifesto videos online that are A, disturbing to watch, and B, you're like, go get him, champ! It's fucked up, man. It's a really weird emotional state to be in.
Some of those police interviews from of Dylan Roof, he would have absolutely been a serial killer. I have no doubt in my mind. If it was 1969, 71, this dude is he would be on the street. And then I guess kind of more on the religious side of things, I'm so fascinated by Jim Jones.
Cults
are a whole different thing.
It is.
I know he's not
chilling.
Dude,
we've talked about them on this podcast before. We've talked
to the people as they're dying.
Because Craig has listened to most of them. I did something really stupid, and you remember this because I sat down. I listened to the Jonestown death tapes. In their entirety, and I wasn't cool for 4 days.
Gosh,
I was just ooh, no, that was too much.
Such an intense person.
That whole mama, please let the children go. I'm just no.
And it's so it sucks that it happened. 100 people, or 900 people, that's a lot of people, but the fact that we have those tapes is just so fascinating.
Yeah.
But you can really hear just the downward mental spiral that this guy was going down.
I'm not gonna lie, and I apologize to any of our Christian listeners. I know we bag on you guys a lot, but you're mostly alright folk. But I mean, that shit that is kind of the reason that I don't buy into that typical.
Yeah, but he wasn't really preaching
dogmatic kind of thought process.
He wasn't really preaching Christianity.
No, he wasn't. I'm not saying he was a Christian. I'm talking about when you go back through history and you listen to how certain religions did certain things, and then you listen to the Jim Jones tapes, and you're because remember, I listened to them all.
That's insane. And
I remember distinctly having the thought, this is how all that shit happens. It was weird, man. It was weird.
No, the People's Temple, just I don't know. I'm so I grew up pretty religious. And so just
so
hearing that stuff is just it's man, like I don't know. I'm so drawn to religious.
Did you ever watch that flick Sacrament?
Yeah.
All right, it was all right.
It was okay.
Like, it was okay.
It was fine.
But it was interesting.
They really downplayed it a lot. Like obvious, like for obvious.
Well, they had
like,
to.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, like not to point fingers and be a dick, but they probably had a 21-page script and had to cut it down to 11 pages.
Yeah. But the guy who played Jim Jones is phenomenal.
Fucking great. Yeah.
Incredible. But like they were like at the end of it, it was like 113 people lost their lives, and it's like. You're off by a couple, like 800. Like,
there were so many.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a good movie. I think they really portrayed like how Jim Jones like just
operated.
How profound he was to those people. Like, yeah, I think it was a fine movie.
Dude, okay. I had a conversation with because the only thing I ever went to school for was communications, and I did not finish. Much to the chagrin of my parents, but to the joy of many others. But my ex-wife was always
kind of ironic that you're now like doing communications. Literally.
Oh, I got you, motherfuckers! You don't even know yet.
All the people that graduated, they're not doing podcasts.
But my ex-wife once just sat down. We were watching. I think we were watching The Sacrament actually, and she was like. It would be so easy for you to start a cult.
Oh my god!
And like I had just like planted the seed in my head.
That's
and I
when
was
you
like,
dropped out.
You can't be thinking of that shit. Yeah, no, exactly. I was like, I think I'm done with college. I think that's like, if I'm gonna make big money in this degree, you have to start a cult.
And that's how L. Ron Hubbard started.
No, that is though. It's exactly how L. Ron Hubbard started, and so many others. Who's the guy that talked everybody into dressing like Star Trek and cutting their dicks off?
Oh yeah, I forget his name, but I know what you're talking about.
Dude, that shit was fucking crazy. Cults are so different because you have like what the fuck is the name of that cult from Japan that fucking unleashed all the sarin gas?
Yeah, man, I can't remember, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and the only reason it wasn't a bigger worldwide event is because 2 days later, Timothy McVeigh's dumbass decided to blow up the fucking Oklahoma City building and be a dipshit.
Right.
We live in a horrible world. What were we talking about? Like just the horror of Earth?
Serial killers. Do you have a favorite serial killer movie?
A favorite serial killer movie? Does it have to be a real serial killer?
No.
Okay.
Man,
no,
kind
this
of a
sucks, and this is a whack movie, but I really liked it just because I was like at the right age to see it. But do you remember The Cell?
Oh yeah. Why is that whack? That's a good movie.
Okay, see, because I've gotten flack from other horror fans because it was like a blockbuster flick, but it was a good fucking movie.
It's a great movie.
And the story is great.
Well, the visuals in that are incredible.
Yeah, it's kind of like, dude, it's like if Guillermo del Toro fucking directed Jeffrey Dahmer's story.
I really dug that movie. But anyway, how about you, man?
Man. I mean, okay, if we're talking like, I really liked the Zodiac movie.
Yeah,
that was a good movie.
So that was fantastic. But I don't like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like my favorite movie of all time.
See, and that real good transition. Like, do you count a slasher as a serial killer?
I think
on that particular one, I could see that sliding under the radar because it's based on Ed Gein. So
fair enough. But I mean, wasn't
Psycho was too?
Yeah, Psycho was based off Ed Gein as well.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
That's also
based off Ed Gein.
Yeah, but yes, he was. That was kind of like a composite.
He didn't even kill that many people. He killed 2 people, and then he just dug up a bunch of people.
Right.
I'm saying that he was more of like a fucking grave robber than a serial killer.
Well, Buffalo Bill is like Thomas Harris talked about it. Like he took like 3 or 4 different serial killers and kind of made Buffalo Bill.
Which who's the guy that did who played that role? It's the guy from Monk.
Are you talking about Buffalo Bill?
Yeah.
Oh, Ted Levine.
Ted Levine. Dude, that guy crushed that shit.
Yeah.
Like, if he had not given that performance, that would have been a much stranger movie.
Have you seen Manhunter from the 80s?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
It's a Hannibal film, right?
Yeah. It's basically it's Red Dragon, but not. And it has
Do you see?
And Brian Cox is Hannibal Lecter.
Oh.
And it's really fucking interesting.
Brian Cox, like Big Fish Brian Cox.
Yes.
Oh, that guy's such a fucking good actor.
And it was done by Michael Mann, who did like
I know.
Yeah. So it's really fucking interesting because it was the first adaptation of Red Dragon, and for people that have read the books, there's Red Dragon and then Silence of the Lambs and then Hannibal and stuff like that.
How have I never fucking heard about this?
They originally were going to call it Red Dragon, but then the producers were like, no, we're going to call it something else. So they kind of gave it a generic title.
Yeah.
But that aside, it's fucking phenomenal. It's a wonderful movie, and it's really interesting because the style of it is like a 180 degree from like Silence of the Lambs. Because Silence of the Lambs is kind of like very realistic telling,
atmospheric
and atmospheric, and this is like a neon lit Tangerine Dreams score.
So it's like Argento does Silence of the Lambs,
and it's really cool because it's the same characters, but with different actors and a vastly different director, and you're like, huh, that's interesting, you know?
That's great.
Yeah, so
I'm down for it.
Manhunter. Worth a watch for sure.
What about Henry?
Well, I was going to say that would be my favorite serial killer movie. Would be
Henry?
Portrait of a Serial Killer.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Oh,
early 90s.
Is it about Henry Lee Lucas?
No.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's based on it, but they changed it just enough not to get sued by anybody.
Oh, gotcha.
So it is, but it isn't.
Henry Lee Lucas was a goddamn maniac.
Yeah.
Like, even more than like, okay, because another one of my, another one of my favorite serial killers, quote unquote, internet. I don't have a Twitter for you to blow up, so fucking I don't care where you scream.
His Instagram is at.
If you just go to my Instagram, it's gonna be a bunch of pictures of my dick. Carl Panzram though.
Yeah.
Because Carl Panzram was like, I'm not just gonna kill you, I'm gonna fucking rape you, and it was always like, dude's way bigger than him.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm not kidding. Like, I have this apex predator thing.
Dude, Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer is, to my knowledge, the only movie that got an X rating just based on tone.
Really?
Yeah. It's not that
it's a super slow burn.
It's not that it's super like graphic. I mean, it's super low budget, but they did a great job making it. And Michael Rooker, who is like in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, no, I know exactly
Henry.
who Michael Rooker is.
He's Henry.
From Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
And he does
Mallrats.
And he does a fabulous job. And the movie is him and his ex-prison cellmate Otis. And it's them going around randomly killing people.
Have you ever heard the actual story of those two motherfuckers? Like, Otis shot a goddamn nail through his fucking brain and still lived and went on to go kill more.
Yeah.
And then they tried to convince the government they were part of like this Black Hand assassin group or some shit. Like, I would love to be that crazy. I'm sorry.
Right.
I feel like I'm...
Well, you've got to watch Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer.
I want to see it,
So.
but I feel like I'm just the amount of crazy where like I wish I was crazier so it didn't bother me this much that I was this crazy.
So let's tie this back to Benedictus, because that is the ostensible reason of why
Goats
we're here.
and robes.
Are there any particular movies that you were consciously using as influence for Benedictus?
Yeah, absolutely. The Witch.
Nice.
I fucking love that.
Logan's wearing a witch shirt tonight.
It's a sick one.
Yeah. So.
And we all love the witch.
We all have.
I've look, it's the internet's a very divided place, so it's like some people love some things, hate others, whatever. So I've seen like pretty even split of people that think the witch is awesome, of which I'm on that camp.
Yeah.
And then people that hate it and think it's lame and boring. I am totally fine with super slow movies that emphasize atmosphere or dialogue or time and place.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of times that does more.
As long as I'm kind of like buying into whatever it is the story's about. If it's like about some dark occult shit, I am totally cool with a 2-hour runtime of just like weird sounds in the woods, and it seems like pre-industrial New England and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, if it was about like a dinner party or something, I wouldn't fucking care.
No,
but
could you imagine just like a goat sitting at the end of the table for 2 hours?
If it was Black Phillip, I might be okay with it.
Would thou like just to eat deliciously?
Eat deliciously.
But anyway, big fans, all of us, of The Witch.
So I would say tonally more The Witch than not like stylistically that film is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Robert Eggers' script.
They did such a good job of nailing that period.
Yeah.
Because that period is a very, like, shaky time in American history.
Yeah, for sure.
Most of them are. But I mean, like, that puritanical, like, these people basically were shunned for being too pure.
Yeah.
And then punished for that.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fucking crazy, like, backswing.
I would say.
Oh, God damn it. I don't know if you guys heard that. Craig just handed me another beer. We'll see where this goes.
So I would say, like, there were elements from The Witch that really influenced it the most.
The dialogue killed it for me, and then the actual, like, physical performance of the actors.
Really? See,
The brother.
The brother? You didn't like him?
No, I did. I fucking loved him. That whole fucking scene where he's
dude, like possessing.
That was insane.
Yes. Okay, I thought you were about to.
No, that kid's like 12.
What? Yeah. No, so, but like having the female lead, I really liked.
What is her name?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
I've seen her in a few things. Anya Taylor-Joy.
Joy. Anya Taylor-Joy.
I have
She's
seen
in
her
Split.
Very good. Yeah, she is in Split. I have seen her in a few things at this point, and like, you always get that kind of thing. It's like, is she going to be a scream queen or is she an actress when you watch a horror flick for the first time?
Right, but I think at least in the terms of The Witch in particular, it's like all of those people were actors. Like
absolutely.
Like,
and I'm also not trying to downplay the value of a scream.
Yeah, no. All I mean is
Barbara
that
Crampton has a career.
Yeah. Like they were clearly not trying to make like something campy.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't recruit people that had a bunch of experience in a bunch of other horror movies. They probably just got like whatever qualified actors they could get
Absolutely.
to do these roles.
Which I would commend.
Successfully hired a young woman who could really get tension across, could really get drama across, could really express with her face.
Right.
Yeah, like when they were accusing her of being the witch and she was like pleading for her life almost, just like
you believe
I'm not
her,
the witch.
you don't believe that.
Yeah, but at the same time you feel that desperation.
She turned me into a newt.
So the female lead, I really liked that idea of having that. So I kind of, took that, and then the very obvious religious undertones.
Yeah.
But that was more influenced just by like my upbringing and like more of like
I was
my
also
views
brought up very religious, and I get like, okay, we're a little more twisted than you guys. Like, if you were brought up religious and then you reject religion, like, it's just, there's a little more twist there.
And I wouldn't, like, I would say, like, you and I are on two different, like, we are the opposites. Like
oh, no, I fucking with Satan heavy.
Yeah.
Like,
see, like me, like, I am probably more tolerant of religion than I ever have been. So I kind of took those elements from that movie, but like there's like I'm not saying like I didn't really like I didn't take anything from The Witch. It was more of like like tonally
like subliminal influence.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying that like The Witch changed my life, but I am saying that like that The Witch was perfect for what it was trying to achieve.
A gothic New England folktale, that's what its subtitle is, and it's like, it's straight up if you took Edgar Allan Poe and put it in a movie. Like,
no, if you mix like the Crucible with like Annabelle Lee, like that's The Witch. It's fucking insane. They just did a really good job, and then like I will say this, and this was genius on either the producer or the director's part, but like Black Phillip as a character, like That's a merchandisable character. That's a Lovecraftian level character.
Yeah. like, when they show him as like a man and then also as the goat, like, man, the minute he starts talking to the children, though, the whole movie flips on its ass. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just like,
I would say,
children, what do you require? And you're like, oh shit, they were right the whole fucking time.
The minute you see the old lady like crushing up the baby, like then once you see that, then it's like, all right, like we got a story. Like,
So was it besides the witch? Was there anything else that was a particular influence?
Please say the Apostle.
Right.
That movie's so metal.
Right.
Maybe I don't know. I really like Jordan Peele as a writer.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. I heard it was good.
Get Out was good. Us was fine. It was good. I like Get Out better. I don't know.
The problem with Us is I feel like they revealed the twist.
They did.
Like exactly what you said.
They did not.
They did not?
Absolutely not.
Damn. Okay.
Have you seen it or no?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay. Yeah, no. See, and I like when you watch the movie, it's very easy to predict.
Yeah.
But in the trailer, like they did not give up the twist.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it like I thought it was one of those where I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like
I heard the acting in that movie was fucking phenomenal.
I mean, it's a good movie.
It was right.
I did not think it was a great movie.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You are super like fine tooth comb with your horror flicks though.
It was a cool theme. It was they did a good job. There's some really killer scenes in it.
Yeah.
Like if I had, the biggest knock that I would have against it is that if you are to kind of look at it under daylight, it does not make sense.
No, it doesn't. The plot,
really? That's the thing that, like, as you're watching it, if you're just tuning out and you're just like, I'm just going to watch something.
Yeah.
Totally 100% passable.
Cool. Yeah.
If you're paying attention.
You're like, this what?
Yeah, dude, it is completely off the rails.
Yeah.
The plot line of it, it's like this dude was just like, he made his first movie, and then it was like, all right, make your second movie, and he was like, here's some shit I wrote down on a piece of paper, and they were like, make that movie, and so Craig's right, it does not make sense.
Shit, okay, so it's probably spoiler alerts there for you guys.
No, definitely not.
It's not that, and it's not even that. Even if you knew the twist or whatever, it'd still be worth seeing because there's some legit really good scenes. And for me, like when I watch a movie, we've all seen like a bunch of crap movies.
Oh yeah,
and it's like sometimes
or three.
Sometimes it can be worth it to watch whatever crappy low budget movie and you see one inspired scene and you're like, that was cool, that was worth seeing.
I talk about this all the time on this podcast. The Evil Dead scene where this pencil goes through the ankle, that is one of the most visceral, nasty scenes that has burned itself into my reptile brain. I will never be able to drop that scene as long as I live.
So I can totally enjoy and appreciate a movie where there's a whole bunch of things that are really rough about it, but it's got this one thing that's really cool, okay? So Us definitely has some really cool scenes. It's got some really cool ideas behind it. However,
I don't think it was a finished script.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Can I ask?
They definitely needed an editor to be nope.
Can I ask?
Continuity was just
Then I want to ask you a question as a filmmaker and you a question as a horror fan. Was it a passable freshman outing for better things?
I mean, it was his sophomore
because I am interested in seeing where I like when comedians go to horror because I feel like comedy comes from a really dark place.
Right.
So I am wondering, is it? If he continues on this path, could he come up with a really good movie?
It's totally worth seeing. It's just just bear in mind it don't get too hyped. Don't be like, oh, I'm gonna see something awesome. You're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna enjoy it.
All right.
I think
it's not gonna blow your mind. It's not gonna go down in history as a great movie. is it's going to be like, okay, you know, he did pretty good on his second movie. Let's see what happens from here.
Okay.
I think if he continues down the same path that he is down with us, then he's just gonna get washed into the crowd of the James Wans, and he's just gonna get mixed in with the Conjuring universe and all these remakes that they're doing. He's not gonna prove himself.
I dislike the Conjuring movies, but let's not pretend they're fucking great or super scary or any of that shit. They're fine.
I think
you know, particularly just as a quick aside, as far as the Conjuring, and I only saw the first one. I haven't seen maybe
all the Annabelles.
I've seen all of them. Here's the deal. Before she died, I would have punched Lorraine Warren.
But to me is I liked the Conjuring. I like James Wan. I think he's a good filmmaker. I like how he uses practical effects and he takes his time to set up scares and stuff like that. But the biggest issue that I had, particularly with the Conjuring, and it's the same kind of issue I had with the Lords of Salem, was that in the storyline in and of itself is that the clear implication is that the Salem witch trials were justified because the witches were really evil.
Yes! Okay, thank you. And nobody addresses that shit.
That is my main problem with both The Conjuring and Rob Zombie's Lords of Salem. Is not that they're bad movies or badly made or anything like that. But story-wise,
the implication is that the settlers were justified in burning these people.
And I'm just sitting there watching. I'm like, fuck no. What are you talking about?
See, he's a pragmatist and I'm a witch, so we're kind of on the same side of this.
But
that's my little aside. Anyway.
I think Jordan Peele, if he regroups and goes back to what he was capturing with Get Out. It was
he put that pussy on the chain wax, I'll tell you that.
It was just very Kubrick influenced filmmaking. I feel like he can kind of set himself apart from the rest of what horror is becoming, modern day horror.
I would like to see that, not even necessarily out of him, but just out of anybody. I would like to see, because it's very difficult to get another Kubrick or another, even fucking Terry Pratchett from when he did 12 Monkeys. It is very difficult to get an entire cast that will put up with the constant grind to get the vision perfectly correct.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many with anything, but I feel especially with movies is because movies are the most tied to money.
Yes. Well, it is. The United States of America's chief export is movies.
Well, but what I mean is it's expensive to be in a band.
Yeah.
But it's way.
Could you imagine
if
somebody came to you tomorrow and was like, "Hey, if you want to keep doing Silvertonguedevil, we're going to need $70 million." Right. I'm like, okay, well, I'm done with this. I'm doing porn now.
You know what I mean? It's that's what I mean tied to money. It's I just mean the practical reality is that even low budget movies are millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So where the fuck does that millions of dollars come from?
I railed on a Charisma Carpenter movie earlier this podcast. That was at least a $3 billion movie.
And what kills me is that and this is, we could do a whole separate podcast about this.
Yeah.
But I truly do not understand that when I go to a movie, no matter what movie I go see, is that the price is the same.
Yeah.
Why does it cost the same to go see Avengers Endgame as The Witch?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they gotta make their money on the back end. It's the same reason that it costs the same money to see Foghat that it cost I keep screwing me.
But it doesn't, because if we go see a club show, it's different than if we go see Iron Maiden in an arena.
That's very true. I paid $10 to see
whoever
Crop Dust, whoever, 2 weeks ago.
Whatever.
I paid fucking $85 to see Iron Maiden last summer.
It's the venue, not the content.
But you know what I mean? But the venue's the same. Because, like, I went and saw The Witch in the theater, and I was, like, one of 10 people in there.
Yeah.
That loved it.
And meanwhile, is, like, right next to it is the theater playing, like, whatever, you know, huge blockbuster, and you can hear the sound bleeding over and stuff. And that's fine. I'm not hating. But what I'm saying is that why in the fuck am I paying the same amount to see this ultra low budget indie movie as a $200 million Michael Bay movie?
Now, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because if they didn't do it that way, if they didn't have a flat rate across the board to see movies, then the Michael Bay movie you could just get into for like $7, right? And then at the $5 Witch movie, you'd have to run into some dickhead like me wearing sunglasses inside with my arms crossed, just like, you see your $5. Like, because if you no, because that's weird though. What I'm a bouncer for your movies, Craig?
No, but what I'm saying is it unfairly punishes like newer independent movies. Is because, like, look, we're gonna go see Midsommar. He's seen Midsommar, but there's a whole bunch of people that are gonna be like, no, I'm just gonna see the new Avengers movie.
Then perhaps the problem is not so much
like if it would be entirely different if I could go to the same theater and I could be like, hey, $5, yeah, let's give this a shot. If in every other art form, if they do that, why not movies? Other than pure greed of the theater owners.
Well, no, absolutely. Are you kidding? Yeah, we're talking about American corporate greed here now. Like this is, we can go.
Like I said,
for hours,
like we
man.
can do a different one, but I think it's weird that for whatever reason they have justified it, and a large part of the public has bought into
Then
the idea.
I would like to officially draw a line in the sand. Warlord Radio is on the line in the sand of, if you have an independent film, let's find an independent distributor for you. Let's watch private streaming. Let's do less Alamo Draft House and movie taverns and more Jack's Candy Shop and this crackhead's house.
And I agree with that. All I'm saying is I would like to, like, I got nothing against the huge blockbuster. I paid to see those two. I went and saw Godzilla with you. Like, I love those. It's great.
Godzilla fucking ate Rodan.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I want to see independent, like, underground movies in the same nice theater.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but it's fucking retarded to say, like, oh, it's the same price.
I don't think we're supposed to say retarded, but it is very retarded.
Well, I don't, and look, I would not say retarded to, like, someone with a disability or handicap.
Horrible.
What I'm saying is like, if something is egregiously stupid, that's fucking retarded.
Pretty retarded.
No, I
Sorry, Logan. Did we
I don't have
ruin
anything
your
to
whole
say,
movie?
dude. Like, yeah, you're right. Like,
it's weird that, like, okay, so like we play a bar show, we get like $7. You play an independent film fest, you might get like $10 per ticket. What does that mean? I'm sorry.
No, I don't think filmmakers get paid anything for.
Yeah, I don't think so. I just, like, I don't know, man. Like, there should be levels. Like, if I want to watch something like The Witch that has $20 million less of a budget than the Avengers, then don't, or at least just don't charge me $9 for popcorn, you prick.
Something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, like I said, it's absolutely ridiculous. And for some reason, it's like people buy into it. And what happens is that it negatively reinforces the idea of taking a gamble with your money, and just reinforces the idea of, like, oh, well, the majority of the paying public is only going to see the thing that everybody already knows about. So therefore, that's the only thing we need to make. Therefore, we don't need... So it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, where because a independent movie is not going to make $800 million, it's not going to happen. But does it need to? Why can't it make $2 million and that be a huge success?
Yeah.
Right? So sell tickets for $5 to go see that movie. More people will give it a chance. It has a better opportunity of making $2 million or whatever.
Also, like, distribution costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it's like
huge.
So it's like the independent filmmaker is taking such a bigger loss from doing that distribution, but it's like it's in the same theater. So it's like but that, like, they're treated like this when really it's like, yeah, charge less.
Well,
I did charge less for the budget movie, because, like, they're taking so much more out of like their chances of making a profit by even getting it into the theater in the first place.
But I mean, I worked a couple of the independent film festivals and stuff like that, and it's like, you guys have to pay the same kind of fee to get like a Patrick Warburton movie in there.
Yeah.
And just because it's Patrick Warburton, and he's very charming, his hair's very nice, people are going to pay more to see that. It's fucking weird. It's very strange. Anyway, I think this is a really good place to call it, because we're just railing against the fucking film industry at this point. So Logan.
Yes.
Where can we find you and Benedictus online so that we can all go and support an actual local artist?
Right.
Yeah, so I'm probably most active on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, just because...
Do you have a premium channel we can pay for?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'll watch you fucking put something in your butt.
No, so... yeah, I'm most active on Instagram just because it's easier for me to track like video content views and all of that, the analytics and stuff. So yeah, Instagram, it's at Logan R. Mulligan.
Logan Nudes.
Logan R. Mulligan
/
nudes.
Right. Gotta pay for those.
But I've got a Facebook page. It's at LRM Prods. That's PRODS. Short for Productions Before Carrick Says Anything Vulgar.
Well, I mean, they're gonna prod you.
Alright.
And my website.
You can also find him on Chatterbait at Logan Prods. I'm sorry, I love you so much.
My website is lrmprods.com.
We'll
tasing your balls.
We'll include this in the attachments of the episode.
There'll be links where I'm not making fun of you having electrodes.
So follow the hyperlink in the fucking episode.
Yeah. I post pretty much everything that I make goes on either my Instagram or my website or both. And so that's
what is your vision for what you want to do with Benedictus?
So my timeline, I'm trying to hold myself to like maintaining a timeline. So I'm looking at like probably being done with the movie like September.
Okay.
That's actually kind of perfect.
So sometime in September, I'll be done with it. After that, I'll really be hopefully heavily involved with like festival stuff. Trying to get it.
So do you have an idea of what festivals you're wanting to like submit to or be part of?
I'd like to stay regional, not necessarily local, but just like regional, like Texas, New Mexico, Arkansas, just kind of stuff like that.
Yeah. Like make a few stops. Because we already established that you do not love the road.
Yeah. So don't love the road. So just want to do some like smaller festivals, but still kind of get the recognition. I've already got one like laurel attached to the film.
Yeah, was it from the Fort Worth film?
Yeah, the Fort Worth Independent Film Showcase.
And that was for your screenplay?
Yeah, so
you didn't get to show it.
Yeah, no, I didn't show it. So it was for the script. It was nominated Best Overall Short Screenplay.
Nice.
So
congratulations.
Didn't win, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Man, it's nomination. It's your first chance at it, and you get a nomination, man.
Yeah,
that's killer.
Absolutely. So I've got that on my poster already, but I just want to increase kind of like a soldier, just earning badges.
Nice.
Just want to get some more badges and then
leveling up.
Yeah, leveling up, getting the recognition, not just around here, but just around everywhere. And then I'd like to do some like local screenings, do some like kind of like what Texas Theater does, like the screenings, but then also has the show, like so. If you guys know some bands.
No, let's talk afterward. Actually, I just started bouncing people's heads off concrete over at Rubber Gloves. We might be able to get you a screening.
There you go.
Excellent. Yeah. So, I'd say just follow me on Instagram and Facebook and
what are those addresses, please?
Yeah. So Facebook is Facebook facebook.com/LRMprods. That's
Prods.
PRODS.
Like you're sticking electrical stuff into it.
Yeah, right? Short for productions. And then Instagram is @LoganRMulligan, and that's literally my first and last name with the letter R between them. So if you know how to read the title of this episode, then you can find me there.
And we'll
hashtag prods.
We'll have hyperlinks for everything.
Yeah, hyperlinks.
So it's all good. I know that you're in the middle of doing this thing.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say for sure, but what are you wanting to do next? Do you have an idea?
Yeah, so I've got a lot of stuff in the can that's just waiting to be fired. So I'm working on a non-narrative documentary. It's not horror related at all.
Right. Can you divulge what it's about, or do you want to keep that secret?
Yeah, not yet. It's still too early to talk about it. But I got that documentary going. I've got a couple. I want to say probably like 2 or 3 scripts that are either like just being written or like very early on, like brainstorming phase and
Are these
stuff.
shorts as well?
Yeah. Okay. So I really haven't taken to writing a feature yet.
So so we'll end with this. Like again, it's one of those things that's kind of impossible to know. But do you have an ultimate goal? Is the idea that you'd really like to ramp up and be like a feature film director, or do you like want to go into commercials, or do you want to go into being like a documentary filmmaker, or do you not even know yet, which is totally legit.
The Muppets, man. What do you want to do?
Yeah. So it's crazy that I'm even doing a documentary because it's not something that I really would have seen myself doing. But I don't really foresee doing many more of them, if any of them at all, after this one. So I really wouldn't plan on taking the documentary route. My ultimate goal would to be kind of like a Christopher Nolan, like writing my own movies, directing my own movies, and even like shooting my own movies sometimes. So I don't know. As far as like specifically the types of stories I want to tell, some of the stuff that I've got that I'm working on isn't horror at all. Some of it's a little horror adjacent, but some of it's just really intense, like drama and emotion. But probably wouldn't be considered horror.
Be horrifying. No.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah. I agree with that.
Anyway, Logan, thank you very much for coming out tonight. We love you so much. We want you on again. When Benedictus releases, let's do a screening, dude.
Well, we'll do a screening, and then after it comes out, we'll have you back and we'll kind of talk about, now that once it's done, looking back at it and stuff like that. But thank you so much for coming out,
Absolutely.
man.
Thanks for having me.
It was great for having you.
It's been fantastic.
And we can't wait for everybody to see Benedictus.
Yeah, no, we're just, on a side note, all personal and shit, like Craig and I are just really proud of our friend achieving a thing and we want to see him do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
I have to piss and hashtag fuck Bart V. Kearns.
There you go.
Oh.